What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, if you got up today expecting to see reviews and reactions for last night's fan screening of Superman, unfortunately, there's a review embargo that's not up until the 7th, and it feels like DC's actually not playing around, unlike Marvel, which says, hey, just do reactions coming out of the theater, don't do reviews. Everybody just reviews it anyway. No one is saying anything today about Superman. Now, in the meantime, we've got to talk about some different news from yesterday, breaking from a trusted industry insider source about a new Thor project in development. And what's important is where this is coming from and what he exactly said, only because he's talked about Thor 5 before, and there may be a hint as to which project this is, and because of the title. We're breaking it all down, the latest Thor project news, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button. Thanks to everyone who's been subbing lately and helped grow the channel again at a breakneck pace, and if you haven't already, I would just kindly invite you to do so. It's the #1 thing you can do to support us here at the channel, plus it'll enter you for the giveaways if you want. Stick around to the end of the video, we get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so this latest scoop dropped yesterday from trusted industry insider Daniel Rickman. You guys can follow him over on Twitter at RBK News, and again, if you're not familiar with the Marvel news cycle or channels like mine, he's probably the most trusted source in the Marvel scoop game. He dropped an info update yesterday that said that there is a new project surrounding Thor being developed by Marvel, and that the title was Thor Quest. Now, obviously, the context of this is a little rich with the last year or so worth of news, because even though we've gotten the recent updates about Marvel giving Thor a proper send-off in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, even though Chris Hemsworth, Thor himself, seemed to have posted a goodbye to his social media to the Marvel fans and to the character before starting filming on the aforementioned Avengers Doomsday, there have just been too many reports in the face of all of this in the last year or two, and coming from huge Hollywood trades talking about Thor 5 being in development for the future of the MCU. And what's more, it's had a ton of news attached, as in Taika Waititi will not be back to direct. Even Chris Hemsworth said that they had to completely change the tone because the Thor they presented in Thor Love and Thunder just didn't work. Chris Hemsworth himself knew that, Marvel knew that, and that's why it felt like giving Thor a Thor 5 at least so that the franchise doesn't end with Thor Love and Thunder made a lot of sense. Oh, quick side note, Taika Waititi not directing, also a big positive. But I do not think Thor Quest is Thor 5. There are two reasons for this, and let me explain. Number one is the title itself. Vision Quest is literally being made at Marvel right now, and I highly doubt they're going to put two separate projects out that have essentially the same title. Character Quest. Vision Quest, Thor Quest. Considering Vision Quest is a TV show, Thor 5 would be a movie, and there would be some branding overlap there. And regardless if the films were completely different, fans would immediately point to the similarities in the title and wonder if there wasn't more to be had from what happened in the Vision series and how it might actually connect to Thor. Now, as I started to do this video, and based on what I just said, I started to remember that some of that leaked concept art that came out with Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, remember the ones the Russos said absolutely weren't real, even though they came from an official Marvel artist who's worked on tons of shows in that style? There was also concept art for the upcoming Vision Quest that showed Star-Lord and Vision kicking it Bachelor style in a bachelor pad. And if Star-Lord is truly back for Vision Quest, and because of all of the overlap the Guardians have had with Thor in the first place, maybe there is some story that's brewing that's going to bring those characters together before, during, or after Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. But naming two projects with Quest in the title and in that close proximity, I simply think it's not something Marvel's willing to do. So if Thor Quest is the title, I think that rules out Thor 5. The second thing to remember is that a big source of all of the leaks and reports we've had about Thor 5, the film, is specifically Daniel RPK. So if this update in any way had something to do with that, or he could confirm it was for Thor 5, he would have mentioned some of those other previous details like he does in his scoop. This was basically, look, Marvel's doing something, it's called Thor Quest, obviously has to do with Thor, he doesn't know any more details. And even though most of the scoops that Daniel RPK posts on all of his platforms are Hollywood, so TV and movie, occasionally he will drop scoops, and was even the first to report on a couple of upcoming games in the gaming industry, not Marvel games, but games in general, video games. So what I think this most likely is another video game that Marvel is developing, because they have been doing so many games as of late. Rivals was a huge success. They've got another fighting game coming out. I think that Thor Quest is a video game update from Daniel RPK, and of course, I totally get it. In a vacuum without any context, you hear this update and who it's coming from, and you assume it must be Thor 5, but I've read almost every scoop Daniel RPK has posted for almost 3 years now. Occasionally he does video games, and with the title quest being in vision already, I just don't see this being for Thor 5. Now the real question is, obviously, how can there be a Thor 5 if they're killing off Thor in Avengers Doomsday or Avengers Secret Wars? And honestly, that's the rub. I'm not really sure how, unless they planned on centering Thor 5 around the other characters from the Thor franchise, but that seems like an enormous mistake. You wouldn't call it Thor 5 if Thor is not in the movie. But what we might see enduring the end of the Multiverse Saga in either of the Avengers films is Jane Foster, Mighty Thor, returning as a Valkyrie from Valhalla, where Thor will presumably end up when and if he dies. So in that case, we know that that's not a one-way stop. And what's more, if they do give him some huge crazy send-off with some farewell death, it might be that they just bring him back. Of course, there's an undercutting there for stakes. That's exactly why, obviously, Robert Downey Jr. didn't want to come back as Tony Stark and is now coming back as Dr. Doom instead. Definitely put an asterisk by that, because I will maintain for the next 2 years straight, we will also be seeing Tony Stark in Avengers Secret Wars. I think the huge subversion here, the thing that they're really trying to draw your attention away from, is him coming back as Tony Stark as well, because, well, he's Doom, right? You can't have him be both. It's the multiverse. Of course you can. You guys let me know all your thoughts, though, down below. Are you hyped for a Thor 5, and do you think that they should do one? And I'm sorry if you got hype about Thor Quest being Thor 5, but do you agree with me during the facts that I presented during this video? It's most likely not Thor 5. I'm all yours as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we're still giving away PlayStation 5s at the channel. In fact, the next one is less than a week away for the finale of Ironheart next Tuesday, and we've also got another one at the end of the month for Fantastic Four. If you want to be entered for the giveaways for the PS5s or any of the ticket giveaways, any of the other giveaways here at the channel, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the sub button because you need to be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below, and because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here, live with my voice and the winning comment shown on screen, so please be safe and vigilant on YouTube, really any platform, and if you should ever get a spam comment from someone trying to impersonate a content creator, it's all just a ruse to get you to pay for shipping for a prize that doesn't exist. Try to remember 2 things. Number 1, a content creator will never comment in your comments to you that you've won something and then ask you to talk to them on a third-party app like Telegram or WhatsApp. Number 2, no content creator, myself included, will ever charge you for shipping. We don't charge someone for shipping if they win a prize. We pay for that too. So if you should get a comment like that, report it directly to YouTube. They are very swift about deleting those accounts. So the comment for you and everywhere else they've commented on YouTube all of a sudden goes away. You're doing everyone a huge service. The best way to keep up with the content here at the channel has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button. My name is Michael Roman. Find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at I'mFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes under the name Allfires. And while I would sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.